about 40 years ago. And the problems for which the war was fought still persist. Then something is something is wrong. In 1987 or 1988 or so, I was in the United States of America, and there was a big debate because a young American decided to burn the American flag publicly. And when he burned the flag, because naturally the president became very angry. President Bush said the young man should be arrested and should be tried for desecrating the American flag. He said that is a symbol of our freedom, and we died for that flag. And the young man responded by saying, well, actually, it is precisely because you died to secure this freedom. This is the freedom I'm expressing now. It was very interesting. That was, I sat down and the argument went on for a long time. In the New York Times, there were a lot of letters from professors. Everybody seemed to have had an opinion. But the one thing I remember was a professor of law from one of the universities in America who said, look, because the question was, should this young man be tried or should he not be tried? And the professor said, listen, Mr. President, you can try this young man, but you can't try him for exercising his freedom by burning the flag. You can try him for environmental pollution. So I think now, because I hear Nigerians say we can't talk about restructuring, and then of course they talk to people and they say, well, somebody said, I've asked a lot of people, every Nigerian you ask has a different view about restructuring. Of course it is true. Every Nigerian has a different point of view about poverty. Every Nigerian has a different point of view about hunger. But are you hungry and are you poor? The language is not what is important. The issues, therefore, for which we are contesting are profound. I come from northern Nigeria. And for me, what we are facing now, what the larger section of Nigeria is facing now, are some of the issues that somebody like myself has been contesting for more than 30 years. It was the subject of my PhD thesis on power politics in northern Nigeria. Because I live in northern Nigeria, and I live with feudalism, not with democracy. And it is also, for me, very interesting. These are very exciting moments in Nigeria. With all the convulsion, they're very exciting moments. Because for the first time, every Nigerian is angry. The reasons may be different. The reasons may be different. But this is one of the first times, this is one of those rare times in Nigeria that all of us are angry at the same time. And Tolstoy said, the Russian writer, he said, every unhappy family is unhappy differently. So the important thing is that all of us are unhappy. And I believe that the president is unhappy because this is not the Nigerian he sacrificed for. I am happy. I'm unhappy. The beggar who is lying under the bridge is unhappy. We're all unhappy. Now, how we progress and who sacrifices what, that is the issue. But I don't think anybody who understands the dynamics of democracy should for any moment suggest that freedom of speech can be circumscribed by any stretch of the imagination. But unfortunately, we are in Nigeria, we live in Nigeria, where the only freedom that people concede to you is freedom to agree with them. And yet, democracy is about managing, these difficulties. And when you have a country like Nigeria, with such incredibly gifted and brilliant people, it's a very difficult thing to teach a class of brilliant children. So anybody who wants to govern Nigeria must be prepared to cope with our anger, to cope with our very constructed and efficient argument about how things ought to be and why where we are is not where we are supposed to be. Now, what people do with that is completely different. But let me come back to the issue. Restructuring, for many people, is mathematics. Right? For the average Igbo man, you hear what the Igbos are saying, just give us one more state so that we shall be like the Yorubas. Then everything is fine. All right? Chivemeka Anyoku gave a brilliant interview in The Guardian yesterday, and I was pleased to read him. I always read people like Chivemeka Anyoku. He's an exceptionally brilliant citizen. But he made a point, very interesting. In his own argument, he said there should be 8 zones. And I'm happy with that idea, not because they may happen, but if whether they happen or they don't happen, at least somebody has recognized the middle belt, because he said they should give us a zone too. So, because at least, because you see, the big boys are arguing. It's fascinating living in this country, you know. And like I said, during the Oputa panel, I was surprised that many people remembered it. I said, look, when I hear all this, the Yorubas are saying we've never been this, the Igbos are saying we've never been this, the Yorubas pointed different ministries that they've never headed. I said, look, where I come from, we also belong to this country. The only sign of federal presence that I saw with my eyes, the first evidence of federal presence in my village, was a vehicle that brought a dead body during the Civil War of a cousin of mine who died during the war. That was the first sign of federal government presence. At least a vehicle from the federal government came to my village. So it's therefore important because, but I am a gradualist. During the Oputa panel, I made the point. I said, I hear all these Yoruba people, I hear all you are saying. But for me, where I come from, as at that time, in the central bank, we had one man who was a cleaner and another young lady who was a clerk. That was the representation from my ethnic group in the central bank. But I'm very proud because quite a lot has changed. Because today, it's not because my nephew is working in the central bank, but at least we have 3 or 4 other people. Now, it is that if the governing elite bothered to know about the nature of this country called Nigeria and how and why people are hurting, then we must come to terms with the fact that we all want the same things in the final analysis. So whereas some people think that restructuring should be about mathematics, there are those who see restructuring as economics. That's what you're hearing from the National Assembly, that is saying, no, we will not accept devolution. And my worry is that the National Assembly ought not to have an opinion about this. In the sense that if you are assuming neither the President, nor the National Assembly, nor any public officer should have an opinion about this. We are the ones expressing our dissatisfaction. But at least wait to accept and process them. So if you are already telling us that the doors are closed, then we've got nothing to talk about. There are those who see restructuring as sociology. They just want every ethnic group in Nigeria now is a nation. So everybody wants a little bit of space for their nation. But finally, there are those who see restructuring purely and simply as psychology. That is, we just want to get a sense of belonging. We've been beaten by the rain. We've been standing outside. We've been excluded from power. We want to belong to this country. I don't think any sane person can quarrel with those ideas. Either way, this country has become chaotic. But you know, it reminds me of a demonstration that was taking place somewhere, and people were shouting. It was one of these demonstrations by labor. The people were shouting, and there was this woman who was panting, and she was carrying a placard. She was shouting. So a journalist went to her and said, "Madam," he said, "Yes, what is it about this demonstration that is upsetting you like this?" She said, "I don't know what they are demonstrating about, but whatever it is, I'm against it. You know, I don't know what they are debating about. I don't know whatever it is." And I think that, you know, what the minister said is quite profound, because there are people who believe that whatever the Yorubas represent in this debate, I'm against it. Whatever the Hausas or the Fulanis or the Ijos take, whatever position they take, I'm against it. But the truth of the matter is that, as I said, collectively we are all frustrated in Nigeria. The challenge now is what to do and how to process that frustration. Now, there was, the title of my presentation was to be The Weakness of Power. And I'll come to it towards the end of my presentation because I had to change my thoughts around. But really, what do we mean when we talk about power? We have notions of what power is. But of course, the mere expression of the word itself is intimidating. When people talk about being in power, especially for us in a third world country. And of course, structures also